I believe that in February of 2022, Russian leadership shot Russia down on both feet and started a process of country's demise. I also believe that in the last 23 months, Russian economy had been kept afloat due to large previously accumulated reserves and professional policy maneuvering by the central bank. I truly believe that in 2024, economic situation in the country will drastically and visibly decline. The time has come. The payback is here. Russia is due to what I call a hard landing. But there is also a phenomenon currently in Russia that puts everything into perspective. At the end of this live stream, I'll show you a video that'll make you understand what the world will be dealing with in Russia very soon. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic. And some emotions too, because I am a human being after all. It's time to talk of what's coming to Russia in 2024. Time to make predictions for this year. Please mark my words down and check me at the end of the year. Even better, I will check myself, just like I checked myself for the predictions I made for 2023, and I'll make a stream about it. So please come back in about 360 days. I'll ask you to like this message because it helps me to spread it. YouTube algorithm loves it. And without further ado, let's jump right into the predictions. I will talk mostly of the economy, what's going to happen to it in 2024, because I think that economy is the foundation of everything in the country. Economy will be a driving force behind everything else. So let's talk about it. Number one, economic growth will stop. Towards the end of 2024, the signs of economic decline will be seen. Let me explain very briefly. Russian economy grew by about 3% in 2023. The growth was artificial, fueled by the war, filled with government's orders, so to speak. All companies that manufacture all military stuff to be used in Ukraine and the war, they grew tremendously. Most civil industries have declined, and the companies in those industries have, shrunk. Military and civil industries combined have given growth of around 3%, the general growth of the economy. The exact number is not clear yet. It'll be released on Friday, but it's safe to say that it's around 3%. But this is it. Folks, this is it. In 2024, economic growth is no more. And there are three reasons for that. First, the military-industrial complex is at full operating capacity. Second, there's lack of investments, both foreign and Russian. All investors have left, both foreign and Russian. The only investor that remains in Russia is Russian government. No investments equals no growth, and Russian government is not aiming at investing in the long-term projects at this point. And number three, the third reason is the labor force of Russia is shrinking. Fewer people in the workforce means no growth, only decline. So prediction number two, beginning of death of market economy. Now this is a good one. Market economy in Russia was born in 1992. At first it was ugly. It coughed a lot, it farted. For 30 years, economists were trying to improve in finesse market economy, and they did fairly well. The transformation from the Soviet system, from Soviet economy, the command economy, was completed, and Russian economy was, for the most part, market economy, some 20 plus years after the USSR fell apart. But say goodbye to that, it's over. Vladimir Putin and his clique have brought the USSR back. I mean, everyone's been saying, oh, the USSR is back, and lots of Russians, for the reasons that beat me, have been welcoming this change. Well, this is it. This is it. They're going to be reaping the rewards now. And it's getting ugly again. The state is getting ugly. First, it'll continue nationalizing businesses. Well, in other words, stealing businesses from rightful owners. The number of cases nationalized businesses already is growing. Second, it'll start regulating prices. That's not good. And third, civil manufacturers will be forced to turn into military production, completely or partially. Well, we've been there before, we've done that. In the USSR, it was called предприятия двойного назначения, the factories of dual purpose. They were manufacturing civil products, but then in case of war, they could be switched to war economy and war products. The perfect example is tractors. For farmers, any factory that produced tractors in the USSR could be transformed into a tank factory, just like that. Number 3, Russia's bread makers, oil and gas, will be declining. Shrinking. 2 reasons for that. Global prices falling. As we see everywhere, global market prices are lower, and they're getting lower. And we're seeing that India has stopped buying a great deal of Russian oil recently, just in a couple last weeks, stating that Russia does not provide attractive discounts anymore, and they're getting them from other places. And second, circumventing sanctions that Russia has been doing fairly well in 2023 will become increasingly difficult because the Western countries, including the United States of America, led by the USA, are really starting to pay attention to this process of Russia circumventing sanctions. And it's going to be increasingly difficult for Russia to sell export oil to other countries above the price cap, which is fairly low. Prediction number 4. There will be shortages, like real shortages. Main reason for that is price control. You see, this is how real world works. You can have plenty of products at high price, or you can have very few products but at low price. You cannot have many products at high price. You cannot have many products at low price. That's the principle of market economy. So the reason for that is, for the shortages, is there are 2 main reasons, actually. There are 2 reasons. The main reason is price control. Russian government showed us in December how it interferes with businesses, and it's very ugly. Eggs. I come back to eggs again. Please forgive me for that. Prices started growing, and 240 rubles currently in Rostov-on-Don 2 days ago. That's how 10 eggs cost, and that's $2.50 for 10. Okay, $2.60 I think, $2.50. And that's a lot. And people start hunting for cheap eggs. once they see they're sold, they line up and buy everything, okay? So what does the government do? It sends prosecutors, investigators, and they threaten with criminal cases to manufacturers who increase their prices. And they increase prices based on the cost of production that is growing. Moreover, one of the CEO of a large factory in the central Russia, chicken and egg farm in Russia, was shot. They were trying to kill him, send the message to the others, hey, play by government's rule. It's crazy. What can I say? So this is the main reason for shortages that are coming. The government will be regulating prices more and more, just like they're trying to do with eggs. And the secondary reason, when regular manufacturers will be switching to making war products, the resources of the factories will be used up and less resources will be available for manufacturing civil products, plain and simple. Why do I make prediction that regular factories will be switching into war products? Because Russia's great cardinal, Nikolai Patrushev, has been traveling around Russia and meeting with the governors and warning them, telling them that soon they will have to do something that would switch regular factories in their provinces to war manufacturing, making them part of military-industrial complex. So anyway, number 4, real shortages will appear. That's my prediction. Please mark my words. Number 5, prediction number 5. The next is more of a speculation than prediction, but I dare to make it. I think that Russian financial system will be so disbalanced in 2024 that a new parallel financial system will appear. It will be unofficial, and perhaps they will make it illegal. It will be working in parallel with existing system, okay? I think that the Russians will come back to an old payment system where things will be paid in gold. In small, tiny bars of 1 gram, 3 grams, 5 grams, that's 1/32 of an ounce, 1/16 of an ounce, 1/3 of an ounce, things like that. But those small, tiny bars, they are already sold by Russian commercial banks. And they're sold for a good reason. I think those who still live in Russia and have some money to spare, to save, I think they're the ones who are buying gold now. And I would be buying gold if I still lived in Russia. Don't get me wrong. They can ban foreign currencies, just like they did in the USSR. I mean, we've been there. We've seen that before. And they can give people real long prison terms for owning American dollars or euros or anything else for that matter. But gold is much easier to conceal, and it's much more convenient in that way. It holds value much better. So my prediction number 5, they will have a parallel financial system in Russia. At least it'll start appearing in 2024. It'll be introduced. My prediction number 6 is inflation. Oh boy, this is actually the key prediction, the key thing to watch for. I predict that it'll be the biggest thing affecting country's economy in 2024. It'll be spoken around everywhere, every single day. People will feel it every single day with their pockets, in their lives. The businesses will feel it every single day. and it'll be increasing every single way. Inflation, it'll be higher, and higher. It's going to be topic numero uno in Russia in 2024. Please mark my words. Folks, if you're liking today's message, please help me spread it by making reposts of this in your social media accounts. Thank you so very much. Also, if you'd like to help out channel in any way, you can buy me a coffee or a tea. Tea is great. At buymeacoffee.com, or become a sponsor, or again, liking this stream, this message is fantastic. Leave a nice comment, that helps too. Something encouraging, I'd really appreciate it. And we are moving to the next prediction. That's number 7. Despite of all that Russia is going through and will be going through in 2024, the country will not completely run out of money. And this is very, well, it's not an easy prediction to explain, but I'll try. Before, I thought that the country would run out of money, but I have changed my opinion and I'm changing my prediction. If things go unchanged, the way they have been going, the way they're going now, Russia would run out of money. But Russian government showed us in 2023 that it has many trump cards up its sleeves. 2 major trump cards are the exchange rate manipulation and the taxes. Russian government can increase revenues for its budget fairly quickly and easily. It can manipulate the exchange rate and increase taxes. Again, let's start. I'll try to explain how they will manipulate the exchange rate. It's fairly easy to understand. $1 is being traded for 90 rubles now. If it's all natural resources, oil and gas primarily, that Russia exports, sells to foreign countries, foreign companies, it receives payments in US dollars. All the payments it does inside Russia, like paying people's salaries, paying pensions to the retired people, paying for the projects, paying for the war economy, it makes payments in rubles. And this is exchange rate in the country. So right now, $1 buys you about 90 rubles. If it's not 90 rubles, but let's say 100 rubles, 10 rubles higher, then Russian budget receives 10% more rubles from oil and gas exports. It receives the same amount in dollars, but since the exchange rate is higher, it receives more rubles. Same amount of dollars, but more rubles. Every 10 ruble increase fetches additional trillion rubles into Russian federal budget. And just so you understand, the entire spendings for the military-industrial complex for war is a little over 10 trillion rubles. So I predict what Russian government will do is they will lower the rate to, or upper the rate to 100 rubles per dollar in late summer. So they'll create 4.5 trillion rubles extra, around $50 billion out of thin air, just by changing the exchange rate. Of course, someone will pay, and that someone is Russian people. They will pick up the bill through increased prices for everything, but the Russian government could care less about people. Even if needed, they can up the exchange rate even higher to 150 rubles per dollar. I remind you, the highest the exchange rate was in recent history is 137 rubles in March of 2022, right after the invasion started, because there was panic in the markets, and then they stepped in. Now, how can Russian government do that? That's a fiat currency. It's traded by market players, by traders. So, in theory, Russian government cannot influence the exchange rate. It's set by supply and demand. Whoever wants to buy or sell rubles, buy or sell dollars, depending on what volumes of currency is bought, the exchange rate fluctuates. Used to be, not anymore. Last year, the Russian government set the foundation, created new laws that gave Russian government central bank complete control over exchange rate. So it can set any exchange rate it wants to through the tools it now has. That is reason number why Russia will not run out of money in 2024. And the second reason is another way to raise money. Good old tried and true tax increases. The Russian government will start with corporate taxes. It'll be increasing. And people in Russia somehow don't understand that if corporate taxes increase, companies, businesses, corporations, they will charge more for their products and services, and the consumers will pay at the end. They will pick up the bill, but somehow they don't understand. I've heard many times people saying, well, that's just for businesses. They don't increase our taxes, personal income taxes, so forth. But they will. After they're done with businesses, they will increase personal taxes. I also predict that federal sales tax will be increased in probably early summer. Now, in case you didn't know, there is federal sales tax in Russian Federation. That's whopping 20% on everything, except for foods and certain medicines. That's 10%. But disregard the amount of things that are taxed 10% is so little that it's safe to say that everything is taxed 20%, all products and services. So, what happened in 2018? They did the very same thing. That's why I'm saying that they will increase the sales tax. Right after the presidential elections, last elections, they increased from 15 to 20% by 5%. No one said a word. Again, us, Russians, Russians, pay out of their pockets. I don't anymore. I don't pay Russian taxes, but they do. They pay, they started paying 5% more on top of everything that they were paying before. I think that this time they will raise federal sales tax by perhaps 3% to 23%, or perhaps even 5%, another 5% to 25%. That's going to give Russian budget lots of money. Prediction number 8. Russia's central bank will continue increasing the key interest rate to keep the inflation under control. They're trying. They can't really do that well because in parallel to regular economy, Russia has war economy, and money is being pumped into war economy, and no one really counts them. Okay, that drives the inflation up. So Russian central bank is trying to fight it, but not very effectively. Let's put it this way. And that, my prediction number 9, what high inflation, increasing in inflation, and high interest rate will lead to stagflation, a very dangerous economic situation. Now, stagflation is a situation in which the inflation rate is high and the economic growth is low. It's either very low or negative. Okay, in simple words, stagflation is when country is between a rock and a hard place, and this is where Russia is going to. So these are my 9 predictions. If summed up, I do not give a good outlook on what's going to happen to Russia in 2024 because economy is going to hell. The only question is its speed. I thought it was going faster. It's going a bit slower, but slowly but surely. Well, the speed is picking up now. So, not great outlook at all. So, economy, fallen economy, declining economy, landslide in economy will create financial troubles, lots of financial troubles for Russian people. Because at the end, it's the Russian people who will be paying the bill, okay? It all comes down to regular folks. With all its economic policies, what Russian government is doing, it takes its greasy hand and it puts deeper and deeper into the pockets of Russian people. It does it to businesses as well, but at the end, who pays the bill, the final bill, is Russian people, the taxpayers, the voters. So, I don't think that Russian people, I think that they will suffer greatly. Okay, their living standard will drop to the level of the 90s, perhaps even worse. The worst I remember was 1992 when the Soviet system collapsed and the new system was not even engineered. So it was a hard time. So this is, I think, where Russian people are heading to. Things will be very, very tough. But Russian people will not protest. Many have already switched to the USSR. Now, folks, I want you to watch this. I will show it to you, a Russian person, older lady speaking, and then second time I will translate it to you. Check this out.
Мы привыкли удовлетворяться тем, что имеем. А Запад, он больше, у них комфорт, там то все. А мы, главное, сыты, обуты, одеты мало-мало. А богатство, нам, значит, так удобнее. А Европе так удобнее. И у нас, во-первых, на 1000 километров там сколько людей, а у них они друг на друге сидят. Им обидно, что мы так шикарно живем в этой Европе. Они завидуют нам.
This might be the answer. Now, what's going on here is it's a street interview, very honest, very, very, usual, typical street interview. And this is, as you can see, this lady is retired or she's getting close to a retirement age. She is most likely from the very bottom class. She does not have enough money to have decent living. You can see it by the way she is dressed and where she lives. Not the nicest neighborhood, somewhere in the provinces. I'm not saying lady is bad. It's probably a nice woman, okay, just brainwashed. But this is what she says. We are used to be satisfied with what we have.
Запад, он больше, у них комфорт, там то все. А мы, главное, сыты, обуты, одеты.
The West is about comfort and good living. And us, we have basic clothing and we're not hungry, not starving.
Мало-мало. А богатство,
And this is all we need. We don't need riches.
Нам, значит, так удобнее.
Well, this is much more convenient. This is our way. This is much more convenient to us.
А Европе так удобнее.
And then Europe, the West, they like the other way. And we like our way.
У нас, во-первых, на 1000 километров там сколько людей, а у них они друг на друга.
Look how many land we have. We have thousands of kilometers. There's so much land. And look, they live on top of each other.
Им
They
обидно, что
sit
мы
on top of each other's heads.
так шикарно живем в этой Европе. Они завидуют
And
нам.
then they actually envious. The Europe is envious to us. I have seen other interviews like that, folks. I have seen people speaking in buses and public transportation. I've seen other interviews. I've seen interviews of older ladies talking about NATO expanding and enemies around Russia, and they were asked questions like, well, look around. You see this terrible roads, dirt everywhere. You don't make much money. And they answered, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. We just don't want NATO to expand. You know, we need to tighten our waist belts because we understand that there are so many enemies around us. That's priority number one. Forget about schools, you know. So we need to keep NATO out. I watched a number of interviews like that, and at first I couldn't believe it. And then I understood that this is what Russians are about. They don't know any other way. This is why I think that in 2024, the change will not come to the country from regular people. The change will not come from the economic hardship. I think that in Russia, with these people, TV wins over the fridge. These people are professional sufferers. In some very twisted way, these people get pleasure from suffering somehow. No matter how much they suffer in 2024, the change will not come through them. Not through food lines, not through cosmic prices, not through inflation. All they will do is they will come back to their kitchen and they will start cursing the government, but in privacy of their kitchens, just like they did in the USSR. They will not go on the streets. They will not do anything that will try to bring changes to Russia. The change, if it comes in 2024, it'll come through the elites, the power groups, or the army. But that's a different stream. And I think it will not come through Russian people suffering economically. As it turns out, they will survive fine on bread and water and very basic clothing because they are conditioned to do so. People who are older than 45 years of age, they remember that from the USSR. I personally don't understand why they want to live like that. I am completely different, but this is fact. And there's not much I can do about this fact. So these are my predictions for 2024. Thank you so very much. This is all my message. I would like to invite everyone to carry on to the live stream chat. It'd be fantastic to answer your questions and talk to you. My most favorite part of every stream. So let's do that. And while I am turning the live stream chat on again, I'd like to ask you to help spread my message by making reposts on your social media accounts. Again, if you'd like to buy me this wonderful English tea, English breakfast, or a coffee, I drink it in the morning, then you can do that at buymeacoffee.com or become a sponsor or a pet patron on patreon.com. Thank you so very much. The live stream chat is on. 2 questions. What do you think first? And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. If you'd like to write something nice, I'd like to see that. That's fantastic too. I like that. Oops. So I'm seeing the comments now. Fantastic to have everyone. As usual, I'm opening it in a separate window and asking everyone to put your comment or question in all caps or put inside Russia after @ so I see it highlighted in large orange box, kind of stands out in among other messages. Thank you. And if you're here for the first time, please know that this community inside Russia has the best moderation team in the world. Fantastic mods: Lorna, Mami K, Harry Potnan, Bob S, and Amir Fazat, and just great people and the best moderators. Thank you so very much. And by the way, to those of you who celebrate Eastern Orthodox Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Dirk, howdy. Leitmotif for me. Paula W, hope you're feeling better. Ola John, thank you so very much. 50 sponsorships. Wow. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know what I can do for you, you know. If you want something, just email me. Thank you. Much appreciated and much needed these days. By the way, every Saturday I do a private live stream. Unfortunately, I couldn't do one yesterday. I apologize, everyone. Once in a while, family business comes up, personal things, and it simply could not be postponed. So I did not do live stream for sponsors and patrons yesterday, but I promise that I'll make it up to you. Thank you so much. So Paula W, Blackhead. Blackhead used to be a moderator of Inside Russia. Did fantastic job. Thank you for stopping by, friend. Good to see you. Blackhead had some personal reasons to leave, to take some time off. But your work is remembered and much appreciated. Thank you. Kerano, Justeri, John, Stefan, Airborne Snail, Crusader Damien, Ferrari Guy, Alex, Lilith Eden, Mario, Baker Stock, Claberella, pretty cool name, Carmen, Pentium, Howdy Friend, Tom W, Pamela J, Scott Nesbitt, Jodes Rames, Guy, KG1, Angela, Reinhard, Life, Jean St. Aubin, finally made alive. Pinda the Peanut, Mr. U Vati, howdy. SVR, EW74, Andrew Hodson, Fred, Stefan, Kevin Baker, and others. Fantastic to see everyone. Thank you. Again, Ole John, thank you so much for gifting 50 people sponsorships. Very generous. Thank you. Christopher, welcome to Inside Russia, new sponsor. And Ernest Connell. Ernest Connell. Good introduction. Thank you, friend. Thank you for your support and thanks for the message. Henrik Arbo Jensen, thank you so much from Denmark. So we'll be looking for messages in caps, all caps now, and highlighted in orange. Guy, what the fudge? Putin with eggs on his face. Freezing Rotterdam. Plus 16 degrees Celsius today in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. But it started raining, so it's cooling off a little bit. SVR, very important comment, thank you. I agree that the change will not come from the plebs. I'm very disappointed, but hey, I've pledged to give you the truth. There's no wishful thinking here. I think that the change will not come from the bottom. It'll come from the top. It will not come from the people. It will not come from the front lines in Ukraine. It will come from the very top. Stefan, in Russia, the Russia you are explaining to us reminds me of there you go, 89 Russian movie called Anno, in German, of Czars and Monsters. Interesting. I've never heard of Anno. I gotta check it out. Of Czars and Monsters. Про царей и монстров. Anno. Thank you, Stefan. MacFon, thanks for coming back, and thanks for the support again. In the 70s, my grandfather had a farm, cows, pigs, chicken, and vegetables near Lodz. I was able to exchange eggs for sweeties in a small shop. I think Russia is traveling back in time. Not really, because back in Russia it was forbidden to exchange. It was a criminal offense. You'd go to prison for that. It was like a gray market type of thing. Very limited how you could sell. You could take your harvest or your growth to a market. You had to register with local authorities at the market, and I think you could not sell higher than certain prices. It's complicated. I did a stream about that some time ago. But I appreciate the support, and thank you so much for the story. Russia is traveling back in time, but in a little different way, okay? These people, they brought it upon themselves. What the heck? Very... Black Cat, thank you so much. Inquiring minds want to know how Mama is. Celebrating Christmas. Celebrating Christmas today in church, Russian Orthodox Church. She started complaining about the politics that church is trying to bring into life. She's completely staying away from, this messages and political messages, and she's about church. That's it. God, I'm praying. But Black Cat, thank you so much. Hopefully, I will have her on a stream soon, so you'll see her again. Ogi1, thank you. Based on my brief reading of Russian history, Russian government always cultivates mindset of serfdom in the population in order to maintain control. Oi. Do you have the same feeling? Friend, I've been studying Russian history like crazy for the past 15 months. We have a very famous historian, a member of Tashkent Breakfast Club, who ran away, the same as I did. He used to study, then teach at Moscow State University. He knows Russian history up to yin-yang. Okay, we talk about Russian history on a regular basis. He teaches me things. And today we had a lecture from another historian, a member of the Breakfast Club, of how Russia became a country with centralized power. Exactly what you just sent me super chat, the message in the super chat about, okay? It's a very complicated topic. We discussed the history of Russia from its creation, 892 AC. That's the official creation of Russia until basically the present day. So Russian government not only always cultivates mindset of serfdom in the population. Not serfdom, but slavery. Slaves. They sugarcoat that word by serfdom, but it's not really serfdom. That's slavery, okay? And that maintains direct control. That's right. And we discussed it for 1 hour 40 minutes today. I wish I could talk about that, but first of all, I was not the speaker. I was just a student of this topic. And then it takes such a long time, but it's incredibly interesting. And I feel, folks, I am to make, how to say that? What's this right word? I would like to tell you a secret, not a secret, but anyway, I'd like to admit in front of everyone that the stuff I know about Russia now, I think that before I was like a blind kitten, okay? In the past 2 years, I've learned so much about my country, and I've learned, and I know, and I have such a different opinion of Russia's history now, of Russia's past, than I used to have. It's not pretty, let me tell you. Again, thank you so much for your message. And as Ole John sent 2,000 Norwegian krones, holy moly. Thank you, friend. That's a lot of money. I appreciate the support very much. And I don't know what to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have a weekly chat with some silicon curtain? Never clicked on any of them, but still often they pop up. And with maybe your full name is Konstantin Samelov. Just wondered if friend or propaganda. Ole John, this is a real deal. I give interviews to Silicon Curtain every month. I was approached by Jonathan Fink, the host of the channel. He lives in London a long time ago, a year ago perhaps, something like that. And he interviewed me. And his channel was small at the time. Now it's grown, and he has fantastic speakers that I sometimes watch. And I watch very little of YouTube these days because I simply don't have time. But the speakers he has are good. And we decided that he interviews me on a regular basis. We speak of Russian economy, and it changes a lot. So we do updates every month or so, every 6 weeks, I would say. And yes, I enjoy very much talking to Jonathan. He's a good guy and, very fulfilling. Again, thank you so very much for your support. And the guy's friend is legit. Stefan, thank you so much. Anno is very anarchistic and absurd. It rushes through Russian history czar Stalin, Gorbachev, then final czar called Mr. Traurigman. Just demolishes everything. People keep cheering. Tell you what. The only thing that comes up to Anno is It by Stephen King, about the clown, and this is not it. It is not it. But I will check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you. KG1. I think I missed a super chat from you. Hang on 1 second. Crusader Damien says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, friend. Thank you so much for being such a great part of Inside Russia. Just Terry, don't the young feel different about things? They do think differently, but they also are being brainwashed, especially school children, school students. They're doing pretty darn good job on brainwashing them. KG1, will BRICS help to strengthen Russian economy and prolong Putin's leadership and ambitions? No, no, and no. In no way they will do that. BRICS is hang on one second. Back again. BRICS is an artificial organization. Russia came up with the idea of counterbalancing Western economic organizations. There are two problems with BRICS. It's not very economically effective. It's just an organization that countries get together, but they don't have real economic policies. At least not significant ones. And the second is Russia is being forced out by China. If you look at the last BRICS meetings, you will see China number one. And Russia is behind China. So China, my take is that China is taking over and it's going to be dominating BRICS and implementing its own policies that benefit China. We come back to China. Dion, thank you so much for being sponsored for 5 months. Your stories always remind me I'm lucky to be Dutch. You are lucky to be Dutch. Fantastic country. Natasha, well, I've been to the Netherlands briefly. Natasha spent there a few weeks. She loves it, absolutely loves it. I like it very much. From my first impression is very positive. Great people, good country. You know, you really love your country, you love your land, you take pride, you enjoy, you take care of your land, and it shows. That's fantastic country. Jekyll N from Australia, thank you, friend. Do you think this is Russia's last great war, considering the population decline, taxpayer base? Yes. First of all, thank you for support. You usually send super chats with no messages, so every message is double valuable. I think this is Russia's last war, and I don't consider this a great war. I consider this as a shameful war, useless, absolutely useless, groundless. They still have not explained Russian people why Russian armed forces are in Ukraine. Okay, they just give Putin and his clique, they give vague explanations, vague at best. And more Russians start waking up, especially mothers and wives of mobilized men. They start waking up and asking questions in a very direct way. So this is not a great war. Population is in decline. This is a huge catastrophe. And of course, so many hundreds of thousands killed in Ukraine, not helping. So many millions that have left Russia and will be leaving, will be leaving. So that does not help. Taxpayer base is diminishing, and it's not so much of a taxpayer base. Russia was always making more money from selling carbohydrate, oil and gas to the world, but the world is not, how to say, buys less of Russian oil and gas these days. So Russia is, I've been making this point hundreds of times, Russia is mutating into something very ugly and very weak. Perhaps it'll be broken into pieces. And not the evil West, not the Satanists, the Anglo-Saxons, Americans. It'll break itself into pieces. And China is going to be eat up quite a bit at the very same moment as it starts happening. So, friend, thank you so much for supporting. Thanks for coming back. Sam K, for additional propaganda juice. Hopefully you will become more Western soon with all that tea. Cheers to you, my friend. This is good. Ah, the best. Carson Larimore, still confused about exchange rate? If no one wants to deal in rubles, how is Russia not running out of money? Well, in Russia, they need dollars and they need rubles. In Russia, see, if Russian company buys something in China, Chinese want American dollars. So therefore, Russian company must buy dollars in Russia, transfer them to China. Therefore, drives the demand for dollars up. You see, if foreign investors come into Russia and bring dollars in, but if they invest in rubles. Therefore, they need more rubles. They sell their dollars. They buy rubles. They make bank transfers in rubles. That drives value of ruble up, dollar down. This is how it works. The more demand for dollars, the dollar becomes more valuable. The more demand for ruble becomes more valuable. In very simple terms, if Russian economy is strong, everyone wants ruble. Then the ruble is going up. If Russian economy is weak, everyone wants dollar to save their investments, save their money. Therefore, the ruble goes down, the dollar goes up. That's as easy as I can explain. Thank you. Fred Robinson, if not economic hardship, what will make the public break? The deaths of millions of Russian boys. Will mothers and wives stand up? Great question. They have been standing up. The first event happened on November 4th or November 7th. Mothers and wives are organizing into huge groups, nationwide groups. They're running their own Telegram channels. They have their own organizations, and they are becoming a force. Every single week I hear from women who stand up, who protest. They started protesting, yes. And that's the only possible source I can think that Russian government will get trouble from. Mothers and wives of the mobilized men. Crusader Damien, the best question, man. The Russian population does not have access to real number of losses in Ukraine and still has no effect. Is life truly worth less in Russia? Or so, why? Look, I made a stream about that. The value of human life in Russia, it's very low. That's one of the problems. Why? Good question. They drink a lot. They feel like they have no control over their lives. They feel like they belong to the Tsar. The government runs their lives. Nothing is up to them. They can't do anything and so forth. They've been conditioned for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. The conditioning started 1612. Was it 1512? Anyway, Ivan the Terrible. That's the guy who started consolidating power in Russia. Oprichnina. That's where it all started. Okay. It's tragedy. Because if Russians valued their lives and lives of others, their comrades, then things would be different, Part of the problem is they just don't care. I think I covered all super chats. Oh, Christopher, what are your thoughts about Anastasia Vasilyeva? Who the heck is Anastasia Vasilyeva? Let me check it out. Doctors Alliance? I don't know what to say, Christopher. I'm sorry, but I don't really have any thoughts on Anastasia Vasilyeva. I barely know who she is. Palm 3K, thank you so much. It's a good channel, yes. Thunderhead 180. What are teenagers doing? Are they giving up like in China, or they are being rebellious teenagers? Neither nor. They're neither giving up, nor they being rebellious teenagers like anywhere else. So they're somewhere in the middle. I have two teenage girls. One just was teenager, and another one is teenager. They both said that at schools, none of their friends supported the government, supported the changes that country is going through. Everyone's from opposing to furious about that. Everyone is cautious because in schools they monitor who's against, and they go after parents. They go after students, the KGB. Teachers are responsible for notifying, for rating kids out to KGB, and some do that. But the teenagers are rebellious. Teenagers, not rebellious, but they're against, but not rebellious enough. MacFon, thank you so much. When people leave Russia, it's good for them to stay. That way they get even more space. Yeah. In Switzerland, we live very close to each other, but we can intervene directly in government decisions or change laws with referendums. Look, what can I say? First of all, thank you for the support. I've been to Switzerland, and I consider it probably as perfect of a country as it gets, The last time I was there was a referendum on passive income. Basically, people don't do anything and receive like a couple $1,000s from government every month for just being Swiss. It was in 2016. And guess what? They were advertising everywhere, advertisings against that decision. And Swiss turned it down. And that made me so, upped my opinion of you. This is amazing. You declined free money, free handouts from the government because you understand that's incredibly dangerous. You understand that people shouldn't do that. They shouldn't. That's not going to lead to anything good. Okay, laziness, depending on the government, people will be changing on the inside. Anyway, I find your country absolutely amazing, and thank you so much. Ogi1, I would be interested to see a video on the Russian history you've learned about recently. Would that be possible? Oi. 1 hour, 40 minutes. That's how long it took just for the speaker to deliver a message. I have a presentation, like 10 slides, but they're in Russian. I can send it to you. Such a difficult project. It's time consuming. I would love to do that because that explains a lot about Russian history, how Russians were becoming slaves, decade after decade after decade. And I can't promise, okay? If I could speak to the professor, I'm not even sure if he speaks English or not, if he could make a lecture or at least refer to a lecture, He referred me to a couple books, history books, but they're in Russian. Anyway, noted, mentally noted, we'll see. SVR, thanks for a good question. What role will cryptocurrency play in the Russian black market besides gold? There's a problem with cryptocurrency because big cryptocurrency exchange joins, such as Binance, another one, the big one, they just ban Russians. If you hold a Russian passport, you can't be part of it. So you need to go to smaller exchanges, more risky and stuff like that. But actually, cryptocurrency has been used to move money out of Russia by tens of millions of dollars, okay? It's been very convenient. I myself don't have cryptocurrency. I'm not into it. But it will play, it's going to be a black market, and it will play bigger and bigger role, I believe. Sam K, The Breakfast Club. The Frosties great. By the way, I have a Inside Russia Telegram channel, and I, from time to time, I send pictures of our breakfasts from the Breakfast Club. You know what would be a good idea? To do that daily. I will start sending pictures daily, so if you want to sign up for a Telegram channel called Inside Russia, you're welcome to do that. I also give announcements of upcoming streams and videos there. Guy, about Telegram. Is there any reason the chat isn't on your Telegram channel? Just an idea. I think my group, it does not provide an option to turn the chat on. That's I don't even know how to turn it on, to be honest with you. I think this, you can have a Telegram group or Telegram channel. So the channel, I don't think that there's a possibility of commenting in the channel. Craig Hughes, Kadyrov looking to swap POWs if sanctions are lifted against his family. That's the proposal he made. A couple days later, he said it was a sarcasm or a joke. Well, like they always do, you know. But what's even more interesting, disturbing, I don't know. In a recent meeting with Siloviki of Chechnya, he actually gave an order to kill relatives of those who committed crimes and they cannot be found. He said that vendetta must be carried out by police, by KGB, local KGB, and if someone committed a crime and the Chechen authorities cannot find them, they should go, or they must go after father or brother of that person. I'll make a video on that. That's scary. Samiland, you told a story about your grandfather was arrested for tailoring wedding trousers for friends. Right, well, not necessarily friends. He was arrested by the KGB guys. He was a tailor. Just a short story again. He was a tailor. He fought in World War II. He came back and he did, he had to work. He was a slave, basically. Because everyone who lived in villages, they were slaves. Passports were taken out. They could not move out of the village at their will. Okay, they were just assigned to certain land, just like slavery. He had to work certain hours at the village, the collective farm. And he had a large family, had 5 kids. And then he was taking care of 2 people, of 2 sisters of his wife, my grandmother's, my grandma's sisters. Okay, so there's a big family, and they lived very poorly. And then he took side jobs because he was a tailor, and he sewed fantastic suits. Well, fantastic. That's what I was told. He was really good at what he did. And he also could sew dresses, just clothing, but suits were his specialty. And he was given orders from time to time. Someone would get the material and give it to him, pay either money or share material with him. And then one time, he was ratted out to the KGB, and he was arrested, and he freaked out, and he was taken to a local office. I don't remember where. And, he thought that he was going to Gulag for 10 years for doing illegal business or whatever they were charging him with. Instead, KGB officer said, well, we heard you're a good tailor. Now, we have like 4 of us and we need suits. So if you make us suits, we'll let you go. And he did for free. I don't quite remember, but he might have even provided the materials for the suits. And that's how he bought his way out of jail. He was deathly afraid of sewing after that. He just did it to us. He never did it for money to others. Okay. That's the story of my grandfather. Okay, folks, looks like time is up. Aldo, question, how are the food prices inside Russia versus how they were at the start? At the start of what? A war? Well, I can give you the prices of eggs. The best eggs, they are divided into categories in Russia: C0, C1, C2, C3. C3, the cheapest, the smallest, I never bought C3. Always C0. I used to pay 55 rubles for 10, now 240 rubles. 2 years later. Go figure. And other food prices have gone up, not as much, by as much, but still. I'll make videos about that coming up. And the best part of the stream is coming up. Love this part. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. All right, let's wrap it up. I invite everyone to pray along with me. Please do. Hang on. Okay. Folks, we pray at the end of every single stream, and I invite to finish the stream today. I hope you liked it and found it interesting, valuable somewhat. Thank you for coming, and please do me a favor. Let's join me in prayer. Let's pray together. Thank you so much. Let's do that. That's dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for giving us this week. Thank you for giving us food on our tables and roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful, clear, and safe, and raise our children in the way so when they grow up they will make this world a better place, will not engage in any wars. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, we're praying for Ukraine and asking you to stop the bloodshed. Please reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who are responsible for this bloodshed. Have them wake up and see what they've done. Fill their hearts and souls with love, mercy, empathy, remorse. Soften their hearts, please. Give them forgiveness so they make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this terrible tragedy. Soothe their souls, please. Send them angels to protect and answer their prayers, make their wishes come true. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia, assemble your army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords and knives, led by Saint Michael, and send that army like heavenly avalanche onto this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country, whose faces and names we know. Please help angels run Russia and have angels help good people run my country so it's peaceful, loving, loved, respecting, and respected again. Please help those who are traveling, send them safe travel. Those who are seeking of asylum of any kind, those who are in danger right now, those who are hurting, those who are not well, under threat of Russian attacks, who are freezing, who are don't have enough food. Please send angels so they protect people and keep them in safety. Please help everyone who is sick, hungry, addicted, jobless, homeless, depressed, betrayed, not feeling well about themselves, or not feeling well about their lives, hurting, have heartache. Please help them, surround them with your love, with your warmth, so they feel you, and they understand that they're not alone. They understand that they have help. They understand that there are other people who are praying for them. And that would give them hope, bring hope back, faith back, and they would be next to you, and they would have a chance to have happy lives. Dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to create this community. Thanks for everyone who's praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you so much. Dear Lord, I'd like to ask for help, certain people who need your help. They are little girl Sarah, Susie Mailer, Steven's grandpa, Warren's Peace, Jay Spike, Tracy, Dennis, James Marston, Frank Caprio, Jim in Houston, Paula W., Karen's mom Dorothy, Olga and her son Alexei, Paul Wright and his community, Jason Carney, please send recovery, complete recovery, and Dirk Misler too, Blackad, Avi, Sandra Dunn, Dive Crew Canada, Jill, Alexei Navalny, Jason Connor, Jenny Stevenson, Sam from Kiev. Wayne, who's fighting 2 cancers, please send recovery, send strength to him and his family members who love him. Scan families, family members who need help. Dave, Dawn, Summers, 613 mother. Mike O'Neill, Kyle E.'s wife. Joseph Johnson, Rhonda McGillis, Heige Homestead, CB, Dory, Ann Larson's daughter Hannah, Terry Carter, former in-laws, Anonymous, Electron's family, John, Kurt from Colorado, Deborah, Boggy Burger and 2 sons, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Galina, Svetlana, Michael, Randolph, Mr. Dean Spooner, Lisa, Grace Philosophy, EMS Paramedic, Karen, Lori Miles' husband, David Porter and his family and everyone from Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Highwayman, please send recovery, Meta Spencer, Drew and Lee McMahon, Terry Carter's fiancée, Pamela J, Life, Karin Vasseur, Lise Dumbrell, Darla, George Ruberty, White Lightning, Julia Haney, Nathan, and Vasilin Lubamirov. Dear Lord, please help all the children that have been misplaced from Ukraine. Please have them find and come back to their families and parents. Please help all children who are not feeling well right now. Send them recovery. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Fantastic to have you. One of the first streams in this new year. Again, I'll make up to sponsors and patrons. And this is my pleasure to see everyone. My honor to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the usual, before I sign off, I ask everyone to say along with me one phrase. And please do one more time. That's Carthago delenda est.